Hey guys, I'm back as promised with this new episode of Starts and Stops with Sheila Harris. That's me, yours truly. Wow, if you listen to my first episode, first of all, I want to say thank you for your support and your kindness. I've received some feedback, especially from those in my circle, so I appreciate that. I want to say right out the gate that this episode is going to be a little shorter, and I'll explain why, but we know that's fine. But I wanted to just talk to you for a little bit, just something that was on my heart. So the last episode, I talked to you about my personal road of getting here. And here is basically this road to kicking off this podcast finally. It's something that I've had in my heart and my head for a couple of years now. And I talked the last time about, the whole concept of starting and stopping and what were some of the things that stopped me from moving forward, even though I had some things in motion. So I wanted to delve into that a little bit more, but from a different angle, hence the title of this episode, The Little Things, The Little Things. One of the lessons I've learned over the years is that if we allow it to, we can let the little things to stifle us and our progress, whatever that is for you. Your goal may not be a podcast. Your goal may be to pursue some sort of career aspiration or a business venture or crossing off your bucket list and traveling someplace fabulous, whatever it is. But you've allowed little things to stifle your progress and taking that next step to your goal. So I want to talk a little bit about, for you, what are the little things for you? I'll give you an example with me. This podcast, for example. So whenever I'm about to do any type of a project, I told you the last time I'm a planner. So whether it's a work project or something personal for me, I always, set a lot of goals, and I actually make a to-do list. So I'll tell you a little bit about how my brain works and how I kind of, move forward with the to-do list. So don't judge me, but just listen. So it usually goes like this. I'll set a goal to do something. Then I'll create a deadline of when I want it done. Or if it's a client-based project, then I work within a predetermined deadline that we've discussed. Then I plan my steps and create a timeline as I move towards whatever that deadline is. Then I actually try to anticipate any possible challenges and obstacles that I might run into along the way. And then I actually strategize how to get around them if they do come up. Again, please don't judge me, but it's just how I work. And then I execute. I go after the goal. So this may sound normal to those of you who are planners like me, but I have to admit that more often than not, if I'm not careful, somewhere between planning and execution, I'll get stuck. I really will. And it's because of what? The little things. Even on the road to producing this episode, I had to work through a number of things. First of all, this particular episode, as I started this, I must have started and stopped about 4 times before I said, okay, I'm just going to hit record and just keep going. So, but even aside from that, producing this episode, I had to really work through a number of things in my mind. So when I said, okay, I want to really sit down and start the next episode, but a lot of things ran through my mind. Will this new episode be long enough? Did I take too long in between, producing the last episode and this one? Do I have enough to say this time? It just goes on and on. Tell me that y'all do this too, so I don't feel bad. But, I do go through that. And I think all of you may go through that in different areas of different areas of your life. I definitely want to change that, though. And I want to make sure that you change it as well for your own life. So, as I mentioned before, we're going to work together. So here's what we're all going to do. I mentioned before that we're going to learn to relax and not worry about all those little things, which really are distractions if you think about it. Distractions that won't allow you to go into your purpose and won't allow you to reach your goals. And those distractions and little things, even though they're little, they can become big enough to tempt us to start and then stop. And we're back in the same place. And I really want to fight against that for all of us. So for me, I'm personally drawing a line in the sand for myself, especially when it comes to this platform. So I'm going to be more intentional, and I'm going to go ahead and do this more often in terms of taping these podcasts and these episodes, and not stop myself because I've let the little things get to me and delayed me to produce what I have for you. Now, just so you know, I'll actually, and tell me if you do this, but sometimes when I stop like that, I'll actually justify the delay. And I'll tell myself, well, the stopping is necessary because what I'm envisioning that will be produced in the long run is really going to be so much better than what I had in my head at the moment, and and it's going to be good in the long run. But the problem with that is, what I had in my head and heart for you at that time was really for that time. And with me not executing on it, it might have been something that could have encouraged you in that moment. But I held back because I thought it wasn't good enough. And I'm just one example, but the same for you. There may be something that you have, but you're holding it back because it's like, oh, let me just hold on to it a little while longer. Let me try to, fix it up a little bit. But at that moment, it really could have been a blessing to somebody. So I really want you to think about that. And the other thing I realize is that sometimes it is okay to allow people to see some of the mistakes or bumps in the road that you encounter along the way, because it'll show them, well, if she went through that, I can go through that too, and it will be okay. We'll fix it, we'll learn, and we'll go forward. So, I want to make sure you understand, it's okay to be concerned, sometimes about how we're going to tackle all the challenges that's going to come our way, the distractions, and the delays that life will throw at us. That's normal. But what happens is, the key is somehow in the midst of all of that, we still have to keep going. Now, I'm going to be transparent, which is always my goal for this particular podcast. One of the reasons why I held back on doing this second episode was in my research and navigating this whole podcasting world, which I've been researching for, like I said, a couple of years. I know that eventually I'm going to have to create episodes that are a little longer. And that's really, especially as I look towards things like monetization for this particular platform and everything else. So, again, to be honest, I almost let that stop me from producing what I have today because, okay, I don't know if I have enough to fill the whole, whatever the threshold is, 20 minutes, 23 minutes, what have you. But then I finally just said, especially when I look at how much time has passed since the last episode, I was like, here we go. I allowed, myself to stop instead of starting and keeping it moving. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm going to give myself and allow myself the grace to realize it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter how many minutes I talk today. It's okay. There's going to be times, and that's what I said at the beginning of this podcast. There's going to be times where I'm only going to talk for a few minutes because there's something I just want to share with you guys. And that's fine. Now there will be times where I'll have more content to share and I'll have a lot more to say. And again, me being a planner, you should know that I have a lot that I do want to share with you guys. I've been brainstorming about a variety of topics and guests that I'll share a little bit later. But in the midst of that, I'd also want to make sure that I'm doing all I can to be intentional about this. So, really reworking my calendar to have a more consistent schedule to do this, where I'm just talking and then just continuing to go on from there. I'll get to the point that I'm praying about. I know I will. I trust God with that. But I wanted you to know that even for you, there may be times where whatever it is that you have, it may not be at the level that you are aspiring to. Like maybe you've launched some sort of product, some sort of brand, and you may not have enough units at this time, to really, be in a Walmart or something like that. But maybe you have enough to be able to go to the local expo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't stop because it's like you're not at that point that you're really trying to get and trying to attain to. Give yourself some grace, learn along the way, but definitely don't stop. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that and actually put that out there and, taking the advice that I'm giving you and taking it for myself. So that's it. Like I said, I'm following my own advice. I'm also happy that I'm taking you on this journey with me. And I believe by doing that, I'll grow in ways that I can't even imagine. And that's important to me. So today I'm content. I'm content that I didn't let, again, the little things stop me from giving you what I have at this moment. I'm really learning that with anything that you're purposed to do, you have to continue to practice and prepare continually. I told y'all I'm churchy, so I believe in Ephesians 3:20, where the Lord can do exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think. So these are seeds that I'm planting, and I'm trusting God with it. So whether I talk to you for 5 minutes or if it's an hour, because I can talk, y'all, I'm trusting Him with it. And I hope you do the same. We're going to start and keep going, but we're not going to stop. I'll leave you with this. Who would you say is the greatest of all time? Whether it's basketball, I'll say Jordan, but don't hate me. But, that's the era I grew up in. I love Michael Jordan. But again, who's the greatest of all time? Whether it's baseball, sports, tennis, gymnastics, music, whatever it is, whatever category. I think whoever it is, you would say is a GOAT in that particular area. I believe all those people have one thing in common. Although they may have wanted to, they didn't stop. And if they did for a little bit, they got right back in line and did it again. And why? Why do you think that is? It's because they knew and learned along the way that you only get better and better and stronger if you keep going. So what about you? What are the little things stopping you from taking the next step? Take it from me. Don't let it happen. Let's all commit to this. We are going to give what we can today and watch and see how God will bless it in time. And we'll get there in time. Okay? I'm so excited for our journey together. Until next time, be well.